getting answers for you. Cleveland 19 News starts now.
We told you it was coming.
Cover up everything. Fingers, your ears, your toes, of course.
The 19 First Alert Deep Freeze.
I have 7 layers on.
We have team coverage, keeping you and your family safe from those dangerous temperatures.
Breaking news. Here's what we're starting with this. Good afternoon. I'm Tiffany Tucker.
And I'm Chris Tanaka. A fatal fire in Akron. Some of the victims, just children. Let's get right to Harry Boomer, who is live with the details. Harry.
Guys, I am in Akron, in the area of Battles and Kenmore Avenue, where a fire this morning literally destroyed a house. I've seen lots of homes burned down, but this one is just absolutely devastated. Let's just go to some video or some pictures of what we have so far as I tell you what happened. According to what we have learned from the fire department, there was a mother and 3 children who succumbed to the flames inside the house this morning. I had a chance to very briefly talk with a neighbor who said she first saw something white, then smelled smoke, looked out the window and saw the house fully engulfed, that it happened so quickly. She did say the fire department got here as quickly as they could, according to her, and they said they tried to gain entrance at least several times, but were pushed back by the smoke and the flames. They did eventually get into the home, and that is where they made their gruesome discovery. Again, a mother and 3 children died in the house fire at Battles and 18th Street in the city of Akron. That neighbor did say there was one man who lived in the house, but he had escaped. He was outside without a top on, pajama bottoms, I think she said, and he was crying, obviously distraught over what was going on inside the house. You know, fire has this way of just running people out without any clothes on, and apparently the mother and 3 children did not make it out alive. We don't have any names or in what part of the house they were found, the ages of the children or anything like that yet. I've made phone calls to the Akron Fire Department. I'm waiting for phone calls back. I've spoken briefly with the police. They have deferred to the fire department in terms of information. I will have some sound for you as well as some additional video in my later reports on Cleveland 19 News, so stay tuned for that. But again, a mother, 3 children succumb in a house fire here at Battles and 18th in Akron. Sadly, Harry Boomer, Getting Answers, Cleveland 19.
So the deep freeze has apparently become fatal. Crews found a 59-year-old man dead. He was found outside after disappearing from the WOIO Rehabilitation Center in Euclid.
Right now, we're awaiting the official cause of death. Now to our team coverage out, staying safe, covering this deep freeze. Hannah Catlett is live at a frozen house where water ran out of the home. Now there's a slippery situation outside. Hannah, what can you tell us?
Paul Orlowski is live on the scene of a fire where crews had to battle the flames and the treacherous frigid conditions there.
But we begin with meteorologist Samantha Roberts. She's tracking the freezing temperatures and when we'll see any relief in Cleveland's most precise forecast.
Good afternoon, guys. Currently, we're sitting at 1 below. We are hanging on to this 1 below observation here. 3 below in Akron. 5 below out in Mansfield, and look at the wind chills. That's the second number, the one on the bottom in pink. It feels like 25 below 0 in Akron. That's on your exposed skin. 23 below for a wind chill right now in the Cleveland metro area. It is frigid outside. It's not going to get any better tonight. In fact, it's only going to get colder. Temperatures will continue to fall. We'll be at about 5 below for an air temperature by early tomorrow morning with a similar wind chill to what we're seeing right now. Minimal snow chances, so at least we got that going for us, right? The sun's out. It's beautiful looking. It's just really, really cold, but we are going to finally thaw out for the upcoming weekend. You will love the weekend forecast, and we'll talk about that coming up in your first alert forecast. That's about 10 minutes away.
We'll check out what we found in Cleveland. Water leaked outside of a home. Now there's an icy mess left behind. That created obviously dangerous conditions for people who lived right by it. Now let's get to Hannah Catlett, who joins us live to show us more.
Well, Tiffany, as I was saying, you have to see this. Out of this window right here, water was pouring and it now looks like a frozen waterfall on the side of the house. It's, of course, because of the below freezing temps out here. Notice we're shooting from the inside of our car in order to stay warm. Neighbors also noticed water coming out of the front door earlier this morning. Tonight, the steps are frozen and a sheet of ice covers the sidewalk, driveway, and even parts of the road.
Look how far up that ice is. My God.
Oh, you can go ice skating on it. I mean, literally.
And this issue is clearly affecting those people who are walking to the store on sidewalks or even driving down the road a couple of hours ago. And even just a couple minutes ago, again, we saw a plow driver that was here on the road trying to break up some of that ice and also laying some snow down. We're also trying to get some answers as far as who's responsible for this happening and for this cleanup. The house appears to be abandoned. We'll have more for you coming up at 5. But for now, we're live in Cleveland. Hannah Catlett, Cleveland 19 News.
All right, an update now to the gas outage in Rocky River. Dominion's restored service to all but 3 of the 200 affected customers. Now, the rest should get it back tonight. Crews shut off the gas after finding water in the lines yesterday morning. Well, a fire sent about 200 people out into the cold early this morning. 4 units damaged at Beachmont Towers in Woodmere. 2 women rescued from a balcony. Fortunately enough, no one injured. The cause still undetermined. A fire at these temperatures can create major problems, of course, and danger for first responders. Paul Orlowski joining us live at the Woodmere fire station where Orlo, the crews who fought that fire, finally getting thawed out.
They're finally getting thawed out, but I'll tell you, the air in here is certainly heavy with the smell of smoke from that fire that you talked about in all of the guys' gear. You know, the instinct of these guys, or really any guys, when they were first on the scene of a fire, is to, hey, let's get this thing handled. But supervisors really have to be sure that those guys don't spend too much time out in the cold. So the rotation of crews is really the key to safety.
It's all in the job. We're all right. Thanks. Yeah, adrenaline, experience.
The weather is really not a factor mentally at that point, because you understand that you have a job to do, and everything kind of goes out of the window due to adrenaline.
The exact virtues that make firefighters run into burning buildings or rescue 2 women from a balcony, as happened here, can also be an enemy of first responders. It's up to supervisors to make sure no one is overtired or compromised by the cold.
They have to take breaks, and sometimes they get anxious because they want to keep going in, but you have to rotate your crew so that they could be safe.
In this case, Woodmere didn't have enough crews to handle things alone. That's where mutual aid comes in. A general alarm went out, immediately bringing backup from a half-dozen other communities. Clearly, cold creates more problems than just on responders. Equipment issues were clear during cleanup.
Frozen hoses, the wind creates a problem, especially with it blowing as fast as it was today. It makes unique challenges.
Anytime it gets extremely cold and you're dealing with water, you realize water does freeze. So applying the water is a problem. Accessing the water, as far as from a hydrant, could be a problem.
Now, in this case, all of the advanced planning that they did really paid off. There was plenty of manpower there. They also have priorities. Safety first. You notice the first thing they did, get those women off the balcony and then take them down, get them to safety. And when you're fighting the fire, be safe yourself. Getting answers live in Woodmere, Paul Orlowski, Cleveland 19.
Well, that deadly Arctic deep freeze is plunging much of the country into record-breaking low temperatures. CBS puts that death toll at 6. Sub-zero readings brought parts of the Midwest to a halt, closing schools and businesses and canceling more than 1,600 flights. Chicago saw its coldest day on record, with the mercury falling below the previous low of -15 degrees back in 1966.
Best thing to do is stay in, I guess. It's the coldest I ever seen since 1983.
Well, that sub-zero cold is so severe it caused mechanical issues that brought snowplows to a standstill in southwestern Minnesota.
Of course, you want to stay with Cleveland 19. We're not out of it yet. We have continuing coverage of the deep freeze. We're live across our digital platforms right now. You can join in and ask any questions you may have.
What's up with the mail? The Postal Service had said it would be out in the cold to deliver. Up next, why some people say the mail carriers were out today.
And
Driven by Don Joseph Toyota in Kent. This is Cleveland 19 News.
All right, let's take a look at the Doppler Max temperature wind chill readings right now. And you can see the top numbers on all those cities. That's the temperature. Wind chill factors below. Hey, Sandusky, you're leading the way. Meteorologist Samantha Roberts back in a few moments to track the warm-up.
Well, U.S. Postal Service workers were out delivering mail today in the cold, even after mail service was actually supposed to be canceled. Sia, you've been covering this story all day. That's the first thing I thought about is, are we going to get our mail today?
Yes.
I hope they wouldn't be out.
Some people got mail.
Yeah.
A lot of people got mail. Now, our phones and our email messages have been blowing up over this. Our viewers were shocked to see U.S. postal workers out delivering mail on their routes in this polar vortex. And to be honest, we still haven't received a straight answer, but here's what we can tell you. Here's the message straight from U.S. Postal Service's website saying that mail would be suspended in northern Ohio, and this message is still listed on the website. However, our Cleveland 19 News cameras spotted several trucks out and about in the Cleveland area. This is near the Orange Avenue distribution plant. One of our sources who would like to remain anonymous is a postal carrier, and he tells us they were told to deliver packages if they felt like it, get ready for tomorrow, and be back to the distribution center by 2 p.m. today. Now, USPS has suspended service in parts of at least 10 states due to the weather. People we talk with here in our area say no mail is that important.
My cousin's a mailman in Akron, and they just had that, like, no snowplows were out on the streets for like how many days. So it's like it's dangerous for them, especially sometimes they have to park their car like miles from where they need to go.
A communication specialist emailed us a statement which read in part, quote, with any winter weather situation, we typically attempt delivery where we can while emphasizing safety to our employees, end quote. So still no straight answer on why they suspended service yesterday, but then had the postal workers out today. Tiffany, this is a story that is developing because tomorrow is another below freezing day.
All right, Sia, thanks. Well, as the temps stay low, Dominion Energy Ohio has some important winter safety and conservation tips. Neil Durbin from Dominion joins us over the phone. Neil, thanks for joining us. Let's get straight to it. What can people do to not only conserve but also stay warm?
Well, probably the best thing and the most convenient thing to do would be to just turn your thermostat down. If you can keep it at 68 degrees during the day, that's going to keep you comfortable, but it's also going to help control those bills. And bills tend to rise when people have to use a lot of gas in the cold weather.
Sure. What's the number one common mistake people make when it gets cold like this?
Probably the number one mistake would be to shut the furnace off rather than just turning it down at a lower temperature and keeping it there. They think that they can save money by turning the furnace off, but it actually uses more natural gas to get the furnace back up to the comfortable temperature than if you had just put it to that lower temperature to begin with.
Yeah. We saw the people in Rocky River, 200 people yesterday, lose natural gas. If you lose heat, let's say it's gas or electricity, what should you do besides layering up in situations like this when the temps are so cold outside?
Well, one way of doing it is consolidating, like say shutting off rooms. I had a coworker who was in the process of having to replace a boiler, and that's what he's been doing, because the plumber has not been able to. He's been out without a boiler for more than a week now, so that's what he's been doing. And also people are using their fireplaces and space heaters, but that's probably you can consolidate into a smaller area of the house. That gives you less space you need to heat, and that could also help you maintain the warmth that you do have.
Yeah, good advice there, sir. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Durbin, for joining us with those tips.
Thanks for the chance.
You got it. Hey, we want to know what you're doing to stay warm today during the deep freeze. Big cup of soup, maybe some indoor exercise and playtime? Give us a call, 216-367-7227. Sound off. We'll play some of those comments tonight at 6.
Now, your first alert forecast, certified most accurate.
All right, pretty uncomfortable outside today, huh? We've still got the wind chill warning in effect for all of northern Ohio. So if you can see me on TV right now, you're under the wind chill warning. That's going to be in place until tomorrow afternoon. And during this time, wind chills as low as 35 degrees below zero are possible, and that means frostbite can occur on exposed skin in as little as 10 minutes. I mean, it takes like no time in these kind of conditions. So cover up everything but your eyeballs, right? You got to be able to see. So fingers, head, ears, all that good stuff. We've got dry skies. That's good, right? We had a little snow squall out along the lakeshore earlier today, but no snow showing up on the radar at this time. I wouldn't rule out a few patchy flurries or a passing snow shower along the lakeshore tonight, but most of us, the issue is just the cold and not the snow. 7 o'clock tonight, air temperature 3 below, but it'll feel like 26 below on your exposed skin. Still around 3 below at 9 o'clock, feeling like 24 below, and then 11 o'clock. 4 degrees below zero, but feeling like 24 below zero. So pretty unpleasant. The wind stays up through the night. And again, a passing snow shower along the lake shore. Certainly not out of the question. Most of us, though, will be dry tonight, and tomorrow plenty of sun. This is going to look beautiful. I know the weather has not been ideal today because it's been so cold. You probably haven't even been able to get outside, but at least the sun's out. We can open the blinds and enjoy that. Unfortunately, no warmth to go along with the sun. 5 below zero at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So it's probably going to be another day where we're out of school. 24 below for your wind chill at that time. Noon, 3 degrees. We finally get above zero. But with the wind factored in, still going to feel like it's about 14 below. Now, wind chills during the afternoon, not as bad.
Drop into the danger zone.
This is still
I'm here
really
with Samantha
cold,
Roberts now. She's been tracking this all week, and Samantha, it has certainly lived up to its hype. It is cold out there.
Yeah, we were looking at not the kind of weather you want to be running around with no big coat on into the areas. So it's here.
It's here. We're living it, right?
I know. Covered up for the next several days. Friday morning, snow showers.
You have good news. We got to get through this, and there's some good news ahead.
There is a high of 21 ahead. There's like several days. Friday's not an alert day because we're as bad over the next several days. You really just need to get through tonight, and then we got to get through tomorrow. 43, partly sunny. Notice that by the end of the weekend, until tomorrow afternoon. So the wind chill during the warning time, that does raise some concerns for ice jams because we'll be seeing a lot of melting. Any snow that you may have on the ground at your house, that's going to melt. And again, we will closely be watching those river levels late in the weekend. I felt personally like we hadn't seen the sun in like 6 weeks.
That's what made this a little more bearable. Can you imagine if there was no sun today and we had to deal with drear and freezing cold temperatures?
Yeah,
it would be
that's all
even
coming
worse.
up next.
I think everyone would be crying.
The Indians with a challenge in this
That's a little
extreme
dramatic,
cold.
but you know what I mean.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for people this time of the year when we go days and days with no sun.
Totally.
So you can like open your blinds and enjoy it. You just can't go outside and enjoy it. If you have to be out and about tonight, no improvement in the weather at all. The wind chill will remain at 25 to 30 degrees below zero. So big, heavy coat, lots of layers, gloves, hat, the whole shebang.
I took off my glove for a second to get my keys out of my pocket, get some money, grab a coffee on the way to work, and I was freezing.
Yeah, it takes no
2 seconds. I'm like,
frostbite in 10 minutes or less.
And there were people walking around, too, in Crocker Park with no gloves on, no hats, just as if it were just a regular winter day. I was shocked.
I feel like some people
are brave, I guess.
Not fazed by it.
No.
I think I saw my husband take the dog out earlier with no coat on. Of course, the dog has a coat on.
If Greg's watching, Greg.
I know, you gotta wear
You gotta bundle up, and then Samantha will have to call out from work and take care of Greg, right? We can't have that. We need her here in the Weather Center.
I had my huge coat on, hat, everything but my eyes. You could see.
Did you get one of those ski masks? Remember those things?
I did have on a mask today.
In college, people used to walk to class with the ski masks.
You gotta have it, right? You must have gone somewhere very cold.
Yeah, Syracuse.
No wonder.
Very
They're
cold.
like wading through the snow.
Freezing.
Yeah, no thanks.
Watching people walk to class was quite comical, for sure.
Cannot even imagine.
Yeah.
Scenes downtown today. It was like everybody bundled up. I saw some people with, again, nothing but their eyeballs exposed. Tomorrow, you're going to be dressing exactly like you did today if you had to get out. Air temperature in the morning below 0, 5 below at 7 o'clock. Notice that wind chill does gradually get a little bit better through the day. I mean, it's still going to be miserable. Okay, it's still going to feel like the dead of winter, but at least our air temperature gets above freezing tomorrow. We get a whole lot of sun tomorrow, and that wind chill gets up to about 8 below in the afternoon. So not wind chill warning criteria, but still not something that you want to be messing around with. So we're going to recommend similar dress, similar apparel to how you were kind of getting through the day today. I expect that we will see more closings for schools, possibly businesses tomorrow as well, just based on that morning cold. Now, it is going to get warmer here in a few days, but with the warm up come a lot of things that are not so great. We get rain, and then, of course, we get the threat of ice jams. So coming up here in a few minutes in our Doppler cast, which is our extended forecast, our 7-day here on Unwired, we're going to talk about just how warm it's going to get and how long the warmth sticks around.
Sam, thank you very much. We continue to follow breaking news on a deadly fire in Akron. Harry Boomer is live as we hear, sadly, children are among the 4 victims. Harry?
That's right, Aaron, exactly. It is so sad. I talked with the neighbor who had that exact sentiment. We're going to have sound from her at 5 o'clock. Well, according to what we've been learning from the Akron Fire Department, there was one mother in younger 30s, she thinks, and 3 children, ages, they believe at this point, 5, 7, and 10, who were killed in the house fire on 18th Street at Battles. Police have it blocked off, won't let us get within about a block of it in terms of being able to park down there. But again, 3 victims, 4 victims actually, in all succumbed to this fire. One man did escape, a male from the house. He says that he was crying, obviously distraught over what was going on right before his very eyes, the house going up in flames. In fact, the neighbor says that she smelled smoke, looked out, and saw the house just go up very quickly. She said the fire department did get here very quickly. They did try to enter the house several times, according to a news release they gave to us, but they were pushed back by the flames and by the heavy smoke. So they eventually did get into the house, and they found the 4 bodies. I asked the Akron Fire Department where they found those bodies, and they said they don't know exactly right now, but they were found in various places in the house. Again, a mother and 3 children died in the house fire on 18th Street as it intersects just a little bit down from Battles in Akron. We're going to be, again, talking with neighbors and have some of that for you coming up at 5 o'clock. Just a very sad story. On a frigid day like today, for something like this to happen, it is never, obviously, a good day for anybody to be burned out of house and home or to die. But you got to ask if it may have been exacerbated by something happening in the house. It's commonly things like this, and we don't know this. It could be a space heater, them heating the house in an unconventional way, in an unsafe way. Could have been smoking. Don't know just yet. But we'll find out, and when we do, we'll tell you. But all we do know right now is that there are 4 people who died in that house fire, a mother and 3 little children. Aaron?
Harry, that's devastating. Did you get to talk to anyone that actually knew the family at all?
No, the young lady that I spoke with said she'd only been there for a short period of time. She would see them from time to time, did not know them. I knocked on about 5 or 6 doors on either side of the house and across the street. Nobody came to the door. One person actually did, but said he did not want to talk, so that's what we found. Hardly anybody home or not answering the door, basically. We did hear some dogs barking in several homes, but nobody came to the door. So we'll keep knocking, we'll keep asking, but right now it is just hard to fathom that 4 people are gone in the blink of an eye in a house that was engulfed very quickly in flames.
Right, our hearts certainly go out to that family and that entire neighborhood. Thank you, Harry. All right, we are seeing amazing video from other areas in this deep freeze. This dash cam video that you're about to see comes from Graceville, Minnesota. It was posted on Twitter. Whiteout conditions, and the wind chill was -15 56 degrees. Woo! Transit officials set fire to the railroad tracks just to keep the trains moving. Can you believe that? That's what's happening in the Chicago area, where freezing temperatures are causing rail defects. Officials say the extreme cold shrinks the metal, causing the rail connections to separate. Fires are set to warm the metal until it expands so workers can repair the connections. This also in Chicago, a man shows frozen door jams. He'd just taken a shower and the steam froze around where the leaks are in his front door. All right, and take a look at the cloudy scene here in the Windy City. It's breathtaking. Dan DeRose explains how that's happening right here on Lake Erie as well, and whether it will freeze.
When you get air that's this cold, like you were just showing there in Chicago, you start to get some weather phenomena that we don't see all the time. We're going to start with what they call cloud streets. These pictures come to us from the National Weather Center. What happens is you see that steam that was coming off of Lake Michigan. The steam comes off and interacts with the cold air, and it kind of creates these cylindrical bands that come off. We've had them on all the Great Lakes. We've even had some, you can't really see Lake Erie because it's covered up with a lot of cloud cover. That's the next subject, Lake Erie. Surely it's going to freeze over completely today, tomorrow, when you get weather this bad. First, I want to show you, this is the latest picture that we can show you, is from the 26th of January. This is Lake Erie. Cleveland is right here. You can see, if we're on the coast of Cleveland, the shoreway, you look out, it looks like the whole thing is frozen, but not even close. We're only at about the 70-75% range. There's still a lot of open water when you get a little bit closer to Canada. In fact, there's only been 3 years since 1973 that the lake has frozen over completely. There was 2 years, 1979 and 78, and then we have to come all the way up
Welcome
to
back to Unwired. We continue our deep freeze coverage with RTA. Linda Kresick joins us on the phone now with how they're helping those who need to stay warm. Linda, the one question we have is, how do you keep the train tracks from getting too cold? We saw in Chicago that they're actually setting the tracks on fire to keep them warm. All right.
Hi, thanks so much for having us on. You know, we really appreciate it because our team and our staff are all hands on deck to make sure the service is out on the street and the rapids are running on time, and we really appreciate the coverage that you're providing us. And today, although, is no different than any other day because we are have our staff fully loaded and fully prepared for events like this. Now, our tracks, what we have is heated switches. Then that keeps the snow and ice from causing those switches to freeze up. So we activate the heaters that are attached to the switches, and they're like a coil that are inside a toaster. They're thick, they're very heavy duty. They glow red hot, and they melt any ice on the switches. So that keeps those switches from being frozen up so we can continue to move those tracks in the direction they need to be. But the first thing we do, though, is we of ice, and we run trains all night long to make sure that happens.
Okay, and Linda, you have warming centers in some of the stations, right?
Well, they are our transit centers and our facilities. So we have designated certain ones that will be open 24 hours during the next several days during this cold snap. So they are not technically warming centers, but they are well heated, and our customers and anyone who needs to come in from the cold can certainly stay there, where actually our transit police are monitoring those facilities, so certainly people can feel safe there. And we have a list that we can provide you with the location of those places, but they're throughout the county: Southgate, Westgate, Parma, West 117th Street Station, and Lou Stokes Windermere Station. So they are heated. They are set up for our customers, but they will be open 24/7.
Okay, just curious, have you seen a decrease in ridership today? Are people actually putting their coat on, going outside, and getting to these train stations?
Well, you know, I don't have numbers for today, but I think because we're reliable and the service is out there, and folks know that when they get on a bus, it's going to be warm, and the trains are running regularly. They're on time. You know, we appreciate that every morning you guys do a report, and you do report on what RTA is doing. And so when we see, when you hear like this morning trains were on time, it was because there were some folks working all night long in the middle of the night making a repair to the Green Line, and that made sure that we made sure that that train was on time so that folks would not be stranded in the cold, and that our service ran on time today.
All right, Linda Kresick with the RTA, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
All right. It's nice and toasty warm in here.
It is.
I love it.
That's why you should stay inside today.
That's right. There are still a lot of people out there, though, doing outdoor shopping. I couldn't believe it. Braving the elements.
You got to do what you got to do. You know, that's one of my favorite things about Cleveland. Even when the weather is not ideal, people don't really let it stop them. But I feel like they're still, you know, staying safe, being reasonable.
Absolutely. Now it's our favorite part of this, isn't it?
Well, it is. You know, we've got the big eye roll emoji.
Doppler
This
cast.
is the whole forecast, right? No, it's not. It's time for the Doppler cast. We got good news. Was rolling my eyes as we were forecasting.
Yes, I'm sure.
Because it's like, okay, can we get a warm up? Yes, we are going to get a big warm up.
That is wild. Wow.
I know. Big
Quite a
swing,
difference.
Huh? That's
quite a difference.
Where migraines come from. Right?
People that have visitors in town from warmer places, we apologize.
Come back
in a few days. Or no, 55 is not too bad.
I think summer best time to visit. We've got an alert day tomorrow, so we're actually not going to use an emoji to kind of show our forecast for tomorrow because it's another serious day. We've got serious cold.
A lot of schools called off tomorrow as well, right?
Yeah, and probably more as the night goes on because they'll realize that tomorrow morning it's going to feel pretty much like it did this morning.
Okay.
The wind chill in the morning down to around minus 27, 26, kind of depending on your location. So you need that big parka, gloves, all that stuff. Hopefully school will be off so that kids can stay inside where it's warm. Maybe if you do have to venture out, though, in the afternoon, the wind chill comes up to about -8, the air temperature 9. So a little better, but still not really something to mess with tomorrow. And windy, too. Then we drop to 4 by Friday morning, so getting gradually warmer. We're just kind of tacking on a few degrees every day. And we should hit about 21 on Friday. So we've got happy Doppler for Friday. But notice what's coming back on Friday. A chance for some snow showers. So these will be morning snow showers. They'll arrive by dawn and they'll be around throughout the day. So nothing significant.
Okay.
It's going to be light accumulation, but it may be snowing on your morning drive. So you'll
like the nuisance snow?
Nuisance snow may briefly coat the roads because it's been so cold. It's not ideal salting conditions. So watch for that Friday morning. And then the weekend looking actually pretty good. Saturday is Groundhog Day, and we have a high of 43 on Groundhog Day. Really, really
warm. Gonna feel like 83.
It is. You are 100% correct there. And then it gets even warmer on Sunday. A high of 51.
91.
We're surfing. Yeah, it's gonna feel like 91. But there will be a little rain around in the morning. Should be a pretty nice afternoon. And then look at Monday, a high of 55.
Ooh.
But ice jams, we need to watch it. If you live in a flood-prone area, keep that in mind. Now we do get a little bit colder Tuesday into Wednesday. We're back in the 40s, but that is still better, I think, than
all right, everybody get outside on Sunday.
Yeah, you have to. It's going to be so nice.
All right, Sam, thanks a lot. We'll be right back.